Looks like we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Your luggage. No sequel for you.
The definition of a cliché is a phrase or opinion that is overused and betrays a lack of original thought. Another definition calls it an idea or action that has been overused to the point of seeming worn out, stale, ineffective, or meaningless. So clearly, in our own work, clichés are something we'd want to avoid, but it can be hard. I doubt anyone writes a cliché consciously, but if we analyze more and keep an eye out for these things, we do have a better chance at avoiding those traps. So today we are looking at some common cliches from major films. And we're looking at these cliches for two reasons. One, I already said, but two, because it's a lot of fun. And this isn't us making fun of these films. The majority of films we're gonna be pulling from, we absolutely love. But it is interesting to see this in this way to diagnose it for yourself. So first up, the car won't start.
You just had to let those puppies get away, didn't you?
Don't do this, baby.
No, don't do this. Don't start with me. Start, come on.
And in the same pocket as Car Won't Start, you have the baby brother, Keys in the Visor.
Yes. Come on, Keys. Yes. Are we learning yet?
And both of these are very specifically solutions to a problem the script had. The characters need to be stalled in one spot to create suspense and allow whatever the danger is to get at them, or they need a vehicle that they don't have. This character wouldn't know how to hotwire the car, or you don't want to spend screen time on that, so Keys in the Visor. When writing, you'll find a lot of moments like this where you need to find a simple solution to a problem to move your story forward. You need your character to do X so your story can do Y. But if you go with the first solution that pops into your head, you may be accidentally stepping into a cliche. God knows I've done it. Or by stepping into that cliche, you may allow your audience to expect your next move and completely ruin the effect that you're trying to create, like with the medicine cabinet scare.
You're not real.
You should stop taking those pills.
This sort of trick has been used so many times that we're waiting for it. So not only do you see it coming, but your audience could lose faith in the journey your film is trying to take them on. But if you keep these cliches in mind, you could leverage that audience expectation to your advantage, like with the car not starting, finding the keys, or this medicine cabinet scare. If you're aware of these things, you could shift it on its head and use it as a way to surprise your audience while letting them know you've thought this through. Then we have the exposition problem. Exposition can be difficult to handle at times, and in some specific films, you just gotta speak English.
The counteragent to chemical subjugation. The gas immunizes the brain's neural pathways from external manipulation.
Maybe in English next time?
That stator control unit can reverse the polarity long enough to disengage maglev, and that should...
Speak English!
Negative human emotions are materializing in the form of a viscous psychoreactive plasm with explosive supernormal potential.
Does anybody speak English here?
Yeah, Your Honor.
The next iteration under control, it needs to form a familial bond with a closely related genetic link.
English, Henry.
It needs a mother!
The time continuum has been disrupted, creating this new temporal event sequence resulting in this alternate reality.
English, Doc.
What's going on?
It's just been a very serious penetration into our Whopper execution order file.
What the hell's he saying? Let's have it in English.
I'll give it to you in English.
He'd have to heat the cube to 120 million Kelvin just to break through the Coulomb barrier.
Unless Selvig has figured out how to stabilize the quantum tunneling effect.
Well, if he could do that, he could achieve heavy ion fusion at any reactor on the planet.
Finally, someone who speaks English.
Is that what just happened?
This is another solution-based cliche. You have information you need to get out. The specific character would be speaking technically, so you need some audience surrogate to then get them to say it plainly. This one bothers me the least, but just like the others, being aware gets you thinking of more unique solutions to those problems. And just to reiterate, this is not me hating on these films. Some of the greatest films ever made have fallen into some of these traps. And honestly, if you didn't notice while watching the film, then the filmmakers did their job to make that work. But even still, there's a lot of benefit in being aware and avoiding if possible. We got 4 more cliches to get to, but first let's thank today's sponsor, which is Artlist. All the music you've heard in today's episode is from Artlist. They have a massive catalog of great music for whatever you're working on, in any genre of chart style music to things that are great for events, underbeds, and your own films. You get a really wide selection that's easy to comb through thanks to their excellently curated search tools, so I can search for something fun and take the edge off of a scene from It. We actually did a whole episode about how important music is to your image. We took popular films, stripped out their score, and replaced it with something else entirely. It's always fascinating how much power music really has to your project. But back to Artlist, you get an unlimited license, which gives you access to everything from social to client and commercial, film and TV, and on any platform. They also have a personal creator plan that is much cheaper and gives you license to use across all social platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and so on. And with most of us, that's really all you're going to need. So check the notes below for a link which will give you 2 months free with your annual subscription, and if you want to see the episode that I mentioned before, you'll find that in the notes as well.
Logo.
Moving on from story-based to moment-based cliches, with a few you most definitely will want to avoid, like infinite ammo. Maybe the king of infinite ammo is from Walking Dead Season 2 when Herschel unloads on some zombies with a shotgun that carries 3 bullets.
I checked the shed and I can't find him anywhere.
Not in the cellar or the attic.
Why can't he listen for once? Okay. He followed his daddy. He went that way.
No, you'll lead him right to him. We can't stay here.
But that's my boy.
You're gonna have to trust. If we find him, he's gonna need his mother. We've gotta go. Mom, we gotta go now. Come on. Corey? Herschel! Come on! Herschel! Herschel, it's time to go! Come on now! Herschel!
And this isn't a writing problem. This is likely an issue that happened on the day of shooting. Maybe they were running low on time and it slipped through, or maybe it was an editing decision to cut out reloading. Who knows? But there it is. Moving on to a personal favorite, we have 1 vs. 100. Don't get me wrong, I love this, especially when you're talking about Donnie Yen or Tony Jaa. I could watch that all day long. For me, it's just finding the way to make it work, funneling the opponents in so you don't have that problem where the stunt performers are just standing around waiting for their turn to get their asses kicked. Now moving on to another that drips of cheese, and I kind of love it, one-liners.
Knock, knock.
You gotta ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
How do you like your ribs?
Give my regards to King Tut, asshole.
Say hi to Mommy.
Prepare to meet Kali in hell. Go to hell and take your friends with you.
What?
I got your gun.
Swallow this.
Garbage day! Huh? No! Get off my plane. This is Sparta!
Take a giant step for mankind.
You're fired.
That's it. No more Mr. Knife Guy.
Dodge this.
No sequel for you.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
These don't really work in modern films like they used to. You really got to stick the landing, because if you don't, you're going to get a massive eye roll from most of your audience. But man, I could watch old school Arnold deliver those all day long.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And we've saved the best for last, or I guess worst for last, with maybe the most egregious cliche, enhance.
Enhance?
Okay, enhance that shot. That's our guy. That's Jerry Shaw.
Southglade Mission Church is a hate group.
Let's look up in here. Can you enhance that? Sharpen it up?
Freeze it, right? There. Scale up. Enhance.
Zoom in.
On which?
Under the chair there.
Uh-huh.
Enhance it.
The Corridor team did a great episode not long ago where they tried to enhance images like you see in films. And while nowadays there are small ways that you can actually do this, what you see in these older films is just bonkers. Of course, there are ways that this can work great in the right setting. Sci-fi specifically lets you suspend your disbelief much farther than most, but a present-day film pushing this, especially to today's tech-savvy audience, is most definitely going to get torn to shreds.
Son of a bitch.
But there you have it, a few cliches worth avoiding. Of course, there are plenty more, but the key here is to keep an eye for these in your own work. Be cautious about going with your first solution. Analyze the logic in your own project and get feedback that will help you find the things that you're missing. We do have a list of the films that we shown today in the notes below, lots of gems in there. And if you aren't subscribed, consider doing that and hit the bell button so you're notified when we put up new episodes. And until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.